Now, obviously, only two pairs can make it through to the head-to-head, so one team is going to be leaving at the end of this round. Your category for round 2 this afternoon is literature. There you are, Christina. Literature. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, so our round 2 question this afternoon concerns American novels and their writers. American novels and their writers. In this round, we're about to show you a list of titles of classic American novels. We asked 100 people to tell us who wrote them. Richard.
Yeah, we're going to show you 6 novels on each pass. The more obscure the novel, the fewer points you're going to score. If you give us an incorrect answer, you'll score 100 points.
Thank you very much, Richard. So remember, we are looking for the authors of these classic American novels. Here we are. We have got, in our first pass, The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Atlas Shrugged, Carrie, and Moby Dick. I'll read all those again. The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Atlas Shrugged, Carrie, Moby Dick. OK, so Elizabeth, there are the novels. We are looking for the authors of these novels, and you're going to try and find the most obscure one on that board. What do you think?
There's 3 that I'm definitely sure of. One that I think I know, and then the other 2, I'm not sure. But I'm going to say Moby Dick and Herman Melville. Herman
Melville. OK, well, let's see if Herman Melville is right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Herman Melville. Very well done. Very well done, Elizabeth. 19 for Herman Melville, Moby Dick.
Yeah, well played, Elizabeth, from 1851.
Superb. Now then, Tessa. Behind me are the American novels. I want an author for the most obscure one you can find on that board.
OK, literature is among my worst subjects. However, I do recognise some of these. And I know, I think, 3 or 4 that are left. I'm going to go for, I think, To Kill a Mockingbird. It might be the least common that I might know the answer to, and I think it's Harper Lee.
Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird. Mark nodding behind you. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people knew Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. He's right. Not bad at all, Tessa. That scores you 20 points.
Yeah, well done, Tessa, from 1960. It's the only book she ever wrote, Harper Lee.
OK, well, thanks very much, Richard. Harper Lee, good answer, Tessa. Now then, Yvonne, we are looking for the authors of these American novels. You're the last person to have this board, so feel free to talk about all of them, if you like.
I know The Great Gatsby, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and Carrie, I think. Atlas Shrugged. I don't even recognise the title, to be honest, let alone know the author, on the basis that people might forget it was F. Scott Fitzgerald rather than Scott Fitzgerald. I'm going to say F. Scott Fitzgerald for The Great Gatsby.
F. Scott Fitzgerald, you're saying, for The Great Gatsby. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see if your strategic thinking has paid off. Well, it is right. How many people knew that name? 24. 24 for The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, the F, of course, for Francis Scott Fitzgerald, from 1925. A wonderful, wonderful novel. Let's take a look at the rest of the board. Beating all of those incredible novels is Carrie, which is Stephen King, which would have scored you 36 points. Then The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is Mark Twain, would have scored you 32. Do you know Atlas Shrugged?
I don't know.
There's much in the news over the American elections because it's a book that's utterly loved by the American right wing. It's Ayn Rand. I would have scored you 4 points. Very well done if you got that at home. Atlas Shrugged.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. So we're halfway through the round, so let's take a look at the scores. Elizabeth, the best answer in that round. You've ended up on 19, which puts Christina a little bit ahead of the game in the next pass. Then just ahead of you, Tessa and Mark on 20. Then a little bit out in front, Yvonne and Paul on 24. OK, we're going to come back down the line. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, we're going to put 6 more classic American novels on the board. Here they are. We've got The Catcher in the Rye, The Hunt for Red October, Gone with the Wind, The Da Vinci Code, A Farewell to Arms, Catch 22. I'll read those again. The Catcher in the Rye, The Hunt for Red October, Gone with the Wind, The Da Vinci Code, A Farewell to Arms, Catch 22. Remember, we are looking for the authors, and you are trying to find the one that the fewest of our 100 people knew. Paul.
I'm going to go straight in with Catch 22 and Joseph Heller.
You are our high scorers on 24. You want to be scoring as little as possible with Joseph Heller. No red line for you because you are the high scorers, I say. OK, Joseph Heller. Well done, that's right. Down it goes. Very good. Our lowest score so far. 17 for Joseph Heller, takes your total up to 41. Richard.
Yeah, well done, Paul. It's going to be a very, very close round, isn't it? From 1961, Catch 22.
OK, so the high scorers now are Paul and Yvonne on 41. Mark, you are on 20. If you can score 20 or less, you are through to the head-to-head.
I'm thinking I should have gone first because I knew all of the ones on the last board. I only know a couple on here, one of which is already gone. So, sorry. I'm going to go for, as Tessa did, I think this was the only novel they wrote. I'm going to go for The Catcher in the Rye and J.D. Salinger.
J.D. Salinger for Catcher in the Rye. OK, here is your red line. It's quite low, but then it's quite a low-scoring round. If you can score 20 or less with Salinger, you are through to the next round. Let's see if it's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said J.D. Salinger for The Catcher in the Rye. It's correct. Oh! 24, that scores you, and it takes your total up to 44. Richard.
Yeah, from 1951, the famously reclusive J.D. Salinger. He did write other things, actually, and there are apparently 15 unpublished novels sitting in a safe, which may see the light of day one day. Be nice, wouldn't it?
OK, thanks very much. Right, so remember, we are looking for the authors of these classic American novels. Now then, Christina, we have a contest on our hands here. The high scorers are Mark and Tessa on 44. You are on 19. If you want to stay in the game, you have to score 24 or less. You can talk us through the board. You're the last person to have this board, Christina.
I wish I could remember the author of The Hunt for Red October, because I think that's probably going to be the lowest one, and I can't. I do know the other three, and so it's Gone with the Wind is Margaret Mitchell, The Da Vinci Code is Dan Brown, and A Farewell to Arms is Ernest Hemingway. But I'm not sure which. I should think Dan Brown would be the most popular, but I'm not sure of the other two. I think I'm going to go A Farewell to Arms, Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway, A Farewell to Arms. There is your red line. If you get below that red line with Ernest Hemingway, you are through to the head-to-head. Let's see if Ernest Hemingway is right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Good luck. It's right! Oh, well done. Well done. Ernest Hemingway scoring only 13, the lowest score in the whole round, in fact, taking your total up to 32. You are through to the head-to-head. Richard.
Yeah, very well played, Christina. Hemingway's semi-autobiographical novel from 1929, set in World War I. Now, there have been some unbelievably great novels and works of literature on both of these lists. And far and away, the most popular and successful of all, The Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown, which would have scored you 48 points. Gone with the Wind, quite right, Margaret Mitchell. Actually wouldn't have made much difference if you'd said that, because it only scored 14. Yeah. Now, The Hunt for Red October, it was Tom Clancy.
Oh, yes. I knew I'd know it when I heard it. Yeah.
And actually, funny enough, the best answer on the board.
Yeah,
just 9
I thought
points.
it would be.
Very well done if you got all 12 of those at home, especially.
Thank you very much. So, at the end of round two, the losing pair with the highest score, Mark and Tessa. How on earth? This was not meant to be at all.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It was a very, very, very low-scoring round.
Literature was never going to go well for me, I think. It was doomed from the beginning.
Listen, you did incredibly well. 20 points for To Kill a Mockingbird. I'm sorry to say, though, you've ended up with the highest score, so I'm afraid we have to eliminate you. Great shame. But we will see you next time, and we'll look forward to that very much. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
Great. Of the remaining two pairs, things are going to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. So very well done, Elizabeth and Christina, Paul and Yvonne. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously, only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for the jackpot, which currently stands at £10,750. OK, you're going to go head-to-head on the best of 3 questions. For each question, each pair needs to give me just one answer, and you are now allowed to confer. All you have to do is come up with an answer that scores less than the other pair, and you will win that question. The first pair to get to the best of 3 will be playing for today's jackpot. Let's play Pointless. OK, good luck. Here is your first question. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Wimbledon 2010 men's quarter-finalists as they could. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any player who reached at least the quarter-finals of the 2010 Wimbledon tournament. There are, you'll be amazed to learn, 8 names on the list. And this is the singles tournament in the 2010 Wimbledon Championships.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. Elizabeth and Christina, because you played best throughout the show so far, you get to go first. So we are looking for those Wimbledon 2010 men's quarter-finalists.
I think that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
OK, you've got one.
Yes, we're going to say Thomas Berdych, I think.
Thomas Berdych.
Yeah.
Paul and Yvonne, you can do your thinking out loud for us.
You're great on tennis, aren't you?
I'm not great on sport at all, so this is definitely over to Paul, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's a gimme. I think we're going to have to say Roger Federer, because I can't think of his name.
OK.
Roger Federer.
Roger Federer. Elizabeth and Christina have gone for Thomas Berdych. Let's see if that is right. And if it is, let's see how many people knew that answer. Thomas Berdych is correct. I think this is going to go a long way down. 3. Very, very, very good answer, Elizabeth and Christina. Thomas Berdych, just 3 there. Paul and Yvonne have gone for Roger Federer.
It's in the bag.
Let's see if it's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said Roger Federer. Well, you suspected that'd be a high scorer, and indeed it was. After our first question, Elizabeth and Christina are ahead 1-0. Richard.
Yeah, Berdych beats Federer, and that's exactly what happened in Wimbledon as well, actually. Thomas Berdych beat Roger Federer and went on to the final, where he lost to Nadal. Let's take a look at all 8 of them. The best answer you could have given was Yulin Shun. He would have scored 1 point. Joe Wilfried Songer, 2 points. Thomas Berdych, 3. Robin Soderling, the Swede, on 4. There's Novak Djokovic on 10. Nadal, the eventual winner, with 39. Federer, 40. And Andy Murray, top of all, 59 points for Murray.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. Here is your second question. Paul and Yvonne, you have to win this question. Stay in the game.
Easy.
OK, good luck. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many Simon and Garfunkel singles as they could.
We're looking for any single released by Simon and Garfunkel that made it into the UK Top 40 prior to the start of 2011. Where they've done double A-sides, both of those songs will count separately. We're not looking for individual tracks by Garfunkel or Simon, just Simon and Garfunkel songs in the top 40.